free, please go to my channel and check out the interview with Rosa. We've got Billy TK today, and today is the lockdown for Auckland. Back Upstream is up and running, so now let's begin the show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Vinny Eastwood Show. I am not a credible journalist. I'm an incredible journalist. And my very special guest, Billy TK, is being driven mad and also being driven at the moment. So thank you very much, Billy, for giving us 10 minutes of your time today to give a bit of an emergency update for those people who are freaking out right now about the lockdown, bring a little bit of calm and a little bit of serenity. Go right ahead.
Yeah, kia ora, mate, and hi everyone. Yes, just really want to encourage everyone to just remain calm and just to take a deep breath and relax. Myself and Jamie Lee Ross have been worked till 1 o'clock this morning and framing some paperwork that we're sending off to government. We've done press releasing, objecting to the way that the COVID-19 health response is being managed by the government. We've also got some serious questions that need to be asked of the government as well. So that's contained in the press release that we've sent out, and it's really important that we make sure that the questions that we ask have a factual basis as to why they're being asked. That's really important. So we need to stay calm. We need to. Where you going? You got to go straight ahead. No. Just go. Sorry, guys. We're just getting lost here. Just keep going straight up. And we need to basically ask the hard questions of the government as soon as possible, because we're not satisfied that the reasoning behind the lockdown makes sense. We understand that the community needs to be safe. We understand that COVID-19 is real, but what we need to is why our government is behaving the way it is in regards to the quality of its response that we feel is well below the standards that we would expect of a democratic government. So that's really important. The other thing I want to point out to people is that we do need to mobilise now. I've had a number of people reach out to me since last night, Vinny, saying, Billy, you were right all along, you were right. And, there's absolutely no joy in being right in this issue. None at all. There's no ego in it. There's information that has been sent to us by patriotic New Zealanders that work within government, and we've got more. I've got military documents dated in March. You just keep going. Dated in March that clearly outline that the government was planning militarisation of the COVID-19 health response, and they haven't been upfront with it. They're not upfront with it now. They're saying that we're going to lock down for 3 days. I don't believe anyone believes that it's only going to be for 3 days, and we need to get to the bottom of it. But the big elephant in the room, Vinny, is really that no one's talking about, no one's going to, is why the heck is no one talking about the fact that there are scientists all around the world right now questioning the medical basis and the overreach of governments to COVID-19. We've got professors like John Leonardis from Stanford University, who I talk about a lot. We've got our own Professor Simon Thornley. We've got professors and scientists in Europe that are deeply concerned and say that the lethality of the virus itself is comparable to a winter flu, and yet we're seeing the complete destruction of economies, the complete destruction of freedoms and rights, and those are the concerns that we have, and there are some serious questions that we need asked. We need to ask and answered by this government, because at the moment, Dr. Ashley Bloomfield, when he takes the stage, he says stuff that is completely unverifiable, unsubstantiated, and he expects all of New Zealand to swallow it, and that's not good enough.
Indeed, the lockdowns were announced like in an emergency fashion, and I got a message on my phone at 6:55 a.m. It was the scariest sound I've ever heard in my life. I actually have a recording of it here that we can play quickly for the audience. Yeah, did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? That was just a little bit of a kind of very, very scary sort of sound to hear very, very early in the morning. And the speed of this lockdown is absolutely phenomenal. It's not like 48-hour notice or anything like that. It's just we decided in an emergency session the night before, and then you get a text message on the morning to say that you can't go to work. You know, this is it's unconscionable.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, I just want to point out to people, I'm not driving, I'm a passenger, and we've actually pulled over, and if you have a look over here, you might be able to see that that's the driver's seat there. I'm actually a road safety advocate, so I just want to allay the fears that I'm actually driving and doing this. That's not the case at all. But you did right. This has been a blitzkrieg style and fast lockdown notice. Yes, we need to respond to keeping the community safe. There's no doubt about that. But the measures again are not in proportion to the threat of the disease and what's happening, and the fear mongering that the government is putting out there. It's always the same thing: COVID-19 death fear, COVID-19 death fear, COVID-19 death fear. But what's happening is some people have been saying on Talkback today, they're actually ringing up and saying very, very wise things like, hold on a second, you know, if we isolate the at risk, i.e. the elderly and the at risk unwell people from this disease, then what you're left with is a virus that many people aren't even going to have a reaction to, and those that do, it's mild symptoms, and that's the reality of it. And so you know, you can say what you like about it if you're a left-wing media commentator, but if we apply logic and critical thinking and look at the facts, then what happens is that the story that the Ministry of Health through Dr. Bloomfield, ex-WHO infectious diseases executive, are putting out there, you know, it's not right. It's false information that they're using to bring in this fear paradigm, and we've got serious questions arising from that. I mean, for Pete's sake, the guy that first did the announced the projections and modelling around the lethality of the disease, his name is Dr. Neil Ferguson. I talk a lot about him. He actually came out after he scared the entire world with his modelling. He actually had to come out a couple of weeks later and say he got it completely wrong, and that he wasn't expecting hundreds of thousands of people dead in Britain or millions. He was actually expecting about 30,000. So, you know, that's the elephant in the room that's not being talked about. The second elephant not being talked about is the quality of the PSA testing as well, and what that means, because it's a fact that that the developer and designer of the PSA tests has actually come out and said, why are they using the PSA test? It's not fit for purpose for detecting coronavirus, COVID-19. Why? Because it detects 3 related viruses all at once, and it tests for, one H1N1 virus. It tests for coronaviruses and COVID-19, but it doesn't distinguish between them. So if people are going to get tested with the PSA, if you've got a common cold, it's going to show up as COVID-19 because then it's not distinguishable, and that's a major concern, and because that's literally false practicing on medicine. It's a lie, and we need to discuss it, because the serious impacts that these lockdowns are having are just amazing. Why am I dressed like this today? I'm doing some campaigning over in Dargaville. I've just been walking around Whangarei, and I've been, every second person that I'm bumping into knows who I am, and are taking brochures off me saying how they've had enough of this government, had enough of the lockdowns, and enough of the fact that people aren't talking about the reality of COVID-19. They're scared for their businesses. I just went into a business a little while ago to speak to the owner, who I had a meeting with the other day. She's feeling that she was feeling that poor and that unwell from the news of another lockdown, that she took the day off and went home because she felt so devastated because she's going to lose her home. And that's the reality of it. And this is what these people are doing based on what we consider to be a flu virus, what the world is saying is a flu virus. But the corrupt story that's coming out of WHO, Bill Gates, Tony Fauci, and also Dr. Bloomfield is censorable. The way that the Victorian government is behaving, that's censorable to its own people, and we cannot allow in New Zealand.
That's right. One last thing before we go is just need to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that Billy is using the Facebook platform at this moment to try and get the word out there. Has been doing a lot of live streams. So if you don't like the NZPP on Facebook as yet, you can go and search New Zealand Public Party on Facebook and bring that up and give it a wee bit of a like. You can also sign up to be a member of the party as well at nzpp.org.nz. Billy, any final words for anybody who's currently feeling a little bit of that fear, a little bit of that frustration, a little bit of that anger at the other people going along with this?
Yeah, just calm down and be calm. You know, I think what's happening is that there are a lot more people that are going to wake up now and realise that there's something just not right with this. You know, one of the things that's happening is that people are going to be hurt in their pockets immediately from this. In September, when the subsidies run out, man, that's when the depression is really going to hit. I'd also like to say to people, please go to the New Zealand Public Party Facebook page and like us and follow us, so that you can keep abreast on what we're announcing. We are going to be providing the public regular updates as we get information. One of the things that I announced in my live broadcast before was that Parliament, the dissolution and closing of Parliament for the elections has been delayed until Monday, and which is a good thing. And then, you know, I just want people to relax, but share information to people that perhaps aren't awake in a calm manner, and get them to start thinking about the questions. Why are they, you know, on what basis or what medical basis are they locking us down? You know, where's the verification of the information from independent sources that substantiate their claims of a medical nature that we need to accept the lockdown on? And you know, what is their rescue plan for the economy out of this? How are they going to pay the huge debt that's coming out of this? And also, you know, how are they going to protect our personal sovereignty and our pro-choice stance around what we're going to allow to be tested with or tested on as a free-thinking, free New Zealander? And those are the things that we need to focus our intent on in terms of questioning the government. Because if we can do that and stay on script, then the voice will build, and it'll become louder and it'll become louder and become louder. I did that post last night just on midnight, by the way, and already it's had 120,000 views, thousands of shares, and we need to keep that going. I'm in Dargaville tonight. I'm going to be on the streets of Dargaville this afternoon. I'm also going to be meeting some business owners today that are very, very afraid, that employ hundreds of people, and find out what's going on from there. And that will, of course, feed into our economic rescue package plan about how we're going to get our country going again, because it just has to happen. And these guys do not care what amount of money they're going to spend. They will spend, and they will spend, and they will spend, and they will collapse our economy, and our grandchildren will be the ones paying for it. So take care, everyone. Please be calm. We'll keep you in touch all the way through. Thanks, Vinny.
Just before you go, we need to quickly show people the evidence of this, that we actually predicted this. This here is a screenshot from a video that we did on the 13th of July. August lockdown coming. And we've only done that because we got the information from the people like you, ladies and gentlemen, the good, ordinary Kiwis. We predicted this. We are against Agenda 21. We are against communism. That is three things no other party can claim. Okay? So thank you, Billy, for your work, and we will see you again next time.
Yep, roger that. Thanks. Have a good day. Kia ora.
Cheers, brother.
Bye-bye.
All right, there we go, Billy TK. Ladies and gentlemen, thank him very much for his time. And bear in mind that this is a listener-supported broadcast, so if you do like the support that I'm giving to Billy, and if you want to make a contribution to the show, there are links in the description. Thank you so much for everybody for keeping a cool head and being so awesome as you are. I want to thank all the mods as well on the Fence with Muzza in the chat room here, and and a number of others. Over 312 people watching at the moment. So thank you very much, all of you, Tanel88, Marley, Pumpkin, and many others as well, I think. Well, who did we have? And JS Hansen in the backup channel too. Wow, guys. Okay, so we have a little bit of a thing to do up here in the top corner of the Advanced New Zealand Public Party website. You have the little links there for Facebook, for Twitter, and for YouTube. We do want you to click on those links there so you can go to those relevant pages and give us a little bit of a follow, so that when we do put out our information across these platforms, you're at least likely to get one of those notifications. Now, with that being said, again, just reminding you that the Vinny Eastwood Show has been listener supported for over 12 years. So if you do want to start up an automatic payment or help us support us through Patreon or PayPal or KiwiBank, ladies and gentlemen, the links are in the description and on the homepage of the VinnyEastwoodShow.com. That's Vinny with a Y because it's the most important question, and Eastwood like go ahead, make my news. Thank you very much for listening to the Vinny Eastwood Show. I am not a credible journalist. I'm an incredible journalist.